Ricky Gervais.
Is he going to host or no?
No, he's not.
Oh, no.
I want him to start his own award show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
that would be so funny.
Oh, my God. The Golden Gervaises.
Right. Or just because,
the Gervais Awards. Gervais is a very...
you can get a Gervaisian.
Yeah, a Gervaisian award.
Like a medal.
Dude, this is a fantastic idea.
I don't know why he doesn't. I think it was so great when he called out award shows. I mean, that's why it went so viral. It resonated with so many people. And last time I was on, we talked about, are award shows even necessary?
That's why I brought this up today. Is because we had this discussion.
Right. And to that extent, if we were to remake award shows, I know you have to read the article. I'm just going to give my little soapbox here.
No.
If we were to remake award shows, who would we want? How would we want to do the polling? How would we want, what categories we want to recognize? And I feel like
most
it would be
followers
cool.
on TikTok.
Yes, that's how I value someone.
Exactly.
Something's artistic,
Yes.
weight. But it would be
true.
interesting to see, what. I think just Ricky Gervais should get behind this and start a new, better award show.
What if he doesn't even care? He's like, I don't care about people.
Well, Rotten Tomatoes had to start somewhere, right? And people now really...
No, people hate Rotten Tomatoes
They
now.
hate it, but they also use it as a metric. I mean, how many times do you see
the opposite.
What the critics say and then what people's response
the critics hate this movie. I'm going to it this weekend.
But Rotten Tomatoes, don't they have that thing where it's here's
the aggregator,
yeah, which is I don't know. It can be very telling.
Realistically, Metacritic is a better gauge of what you're actually looking for. But it says right here, it says Ricky Gervais asked the Golden Globes not to offer him to host the role again. This is what
were they considering him?
He's such an everyman. I love this about him. He's he's like Ricky Gervais says he told the Golden Globes not to ask him to host the awards again. The comedian has always had a knack for quitting while he's ahead, while others have made the mistake of taking gigs and renewing sitcoms for too long, driven by financial incentives and popular demand, but sullied by a dearth of fresh ideas and a loss of impetus. So there's no reason to do these things anymore, but we're going to keep doing them because they make us money. Though bold decision-making, Gervais has continually managed to leave people wanting more. Hence, he said his fifth time hosting the Golden Globes in 2020 would be his last. The 60-year-old was fantastically fearless as the controversial compare? C-O-M-P-E-R-E? Compare? Okay. I don't even know what that is. Is it another word for host?
I'll look it up.
Roasting the world's biggest celebrities in a way that only he can. His monologues were a huge draw for viewers, with the latest ceremony boycotted over a lack of diversity and not even televised. As such, you'd imagine there'd be plenty of people who'd like to see him back at the helm. There was the thing about Tom Cruise boycott. He sent his Golden Globes back that he'd already won. Talk about epic virtue signaling. It could be the Golden Globes could offer me $10 million for 10 minutes work, and I'd be an idiot. I'd be a liar to say I wouldn't consider it. So he's not even, he's like, my morals are too high, strong. He's like, if they offered me $10 million for 10 minutes work, I'd absolutely do it. So it says, the 7-time BAFTA winner told Lad Bible. But at the moment, given I've done it 5 times, it got better and better for me. I enjoyed them, but it got better, and I'm planning to never do it again. I've asked them not to ask me because I can be persuaded. That's true. It's not a principle. So he's very honest. That's very honest. I'm not doing it again on principle. That's what all these actors pretend to have. They pretend to have these principles. Where I'm going to send back my Golden Globes over a lack of diversity after I won them.
You still count. Even if you send it back, you still won it. Even if you don't possess the physical statue, he's not renouncing his Golden Globes.
Exactly.
It's
there's does the second place person from those years officially get that statue now? Do they move it down? There's a funny thing. Remember, this is all over lack of diversity. There's a thing called Oscars So White, and they did this study where they look through the Oscars and they want to find out how white people have won all of these Oscars, right? And they come down to it and they find out that black African Americans have won 12% of the awards. Literally almost exactly they're proportional to the population. So it's all virtue signaling. Regular people like you and me do not care about award shows. I care about them as long as I can get stuff to talk about out of them, because that's actually funny to me, but I don't give a crap who wins the best movie of the year. It's always them it's literally themselves dislocating their shoulders from patting themselves on the back.
And I never think about a award show and think you might get 1 or 2 funny monologues, especially in the stage that spend some time circulating the internet, but I don't
humor is dead to these people.
I don't seek it out. I also don't think that like, you know, you can't bring in a big enough name to make someone watch an award show these days. Like I would not want,
You would have to change. It'd have to be like internet celebrities.
it's like because they're falling, and it would be someone who is trying to climb their way up, and they happen to pass at the same level of influence and relevance.
Yeah.
But more and more, like there's no one that I would be like, I can't.
They would have
If
to be
Donald Trump
fearless.
hosted the Golden
Okay.
Globes, I would watch it.
Okay.
But like that's because that's obscure. You wouldn't expect it. Like, you know, if the Queen of England hosted an award show, I would also
that
watch
would
it.
be
You know,
funny.
like
Miracle would
anyone
love that.
who we're not expecting. But I wouldn't watch it for Kevin Hart. I wouldn't watch it for Ricky Gervais. I wouldn't watch it. I like Bill Burr. I don't think I would watch it if he were hosting. Like,
Because you know they're not gonna let him be himself.
well,
Burr.
and it's not enough to make me want to sit through the rest of it, which I don't care about.
Yeah, because he's going to get his monologue at the beginning, and the rest of the time it's just going to be really crappy skits. God forbid they bring Jimmy Fallon or any of those late night talk show hosts are. It's a dead medium right now. It's what's that? The joke.
It's so stale.
The comment is always, it's like they don't tell jokes for laughs, they tell jokes for claps.
Right.
They do not. It's not meant to be funny. It's meant to be.
It's like, haha.
Look at me, how good I am.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like
Oh my God,
if you've
they're-
watched one, you've watched them all. Like
Yep.
I know they all kind of they are influenced by each other, which is understandable, but like they are really following the opening monologue, the desk, and then I sit here, and now some of them have some games, and as soon as one of them has some funny game they do with the guest, the next one does it too, and they're all really just to become clips on social media on YouTube.
Was that you guys I was talking about how they need to bring back how Mean Tweets was good because it dressed down celebrities.
we're talking-
Yeah. So like celebrities, it's just people don't care anymore. Like people are infinitely more fascinated by influencers on TikTok and influencers on social media than they are actual celebrities.
Yeah.
I think so. I also think that like some of that comes with the curiosity people have about people's lives. Like if you follow a vlogger, you expect to see maybe the inside of their home or what they're doing in a day.
Yeah.
They are selling kind of them in a day-to-day sense, and I actually respect celebrities who are there, you know, to perform, and then they want to have their private life. I can understand that they don't want that, but you know, all in all, I don't want. You know, wouldn't it be funny if we advertised like the Accountants of America's annual awards?
That's
like
awesome.
That might be more interesting. I might be
There's
more
probably some really funny
right,
accountants.
or like, you know, if I don't really, you know, there's a lot of problems with Silicon Valley and like the culture's there, but if Silicon Valley had an award show, I would probably watch that because there's other interesting things. Like once you've seen one award show,
who microdosed the most acid this year to get their brain. That's the big thing. Yeah.
sure. Or like the thing about award shows is like the people who give the awards, I don't know that they're representative of me or my beliefs or my interests. Whereas if it's like watching an industry I'm not familiar with present awards to their top people, I actually feel like I would learn something. I would be like, oh, that's interesting. I want to read more about that.
One thing they could do that I think would be a virtue signal for 1 year. Do not televise the acting portions of it. Televise the awards for the industry members, for the ones who win it for lighting, the people who win it for technical design, for all the aspects that go into making a movie that have nothing to do with the on-screen performance. So, because there's thousands of industry awards, show that 1 year. Let them have their glory. It's a total virtue signal, but I bet you people would be pretty interested to like see them maybe take a step back and humble themselves a bit, and have celebrities present the awards to these people.
That would be interesting.
Like,
do you know how Time magazine, I assume they're still doing it, they'll do like, I think it's People of the Year or
they
whatever.
do Person of the Year.
They do Person of the Year. But there was one for a while. I don't subscribe to Time magazine anymore, so I don't really know what they're up to. But there would be like people writing essays about someone they felt like should be recognized. So like you might write one for Miracle, and you would say like Miracle does all these things and she's so interesting. I think Taylor Swift wrote someone. You know, Michelle Obama would write one for someone else. And it was kind of interesting to hear that perspective. Again, not necessarily like I agreed with every single nomination or whatever it was. I would be curious to hear like, you know, please name an actor who is significant. You know, Tom Holland.
Yeah.
If he could pick one person in Spider-Man, not another actor who he felt like their work made the film, I would be curious to hear who would
that would
pick,
be
right?
good.
Or
You should go pitch this.
right now.
You can go join the Hollywood machine.
Aren't you the guy I pitched these things to?
Yeah.
The thing is, if any of this happens, I just want you guys all to save this clip. Remember that these were my ideas. Ricky Gervais, if you make your own award show, I better get an email.
I want a Gervaisi.
Yeah, I want a Gervaisian medal right now.
Exactly. This was of interest. It says Ricky Gervais asserts people are getting sick of celebrities using their influence to virtue signal. The people with nothing become tired of being lectured by people who had everything. And then they're just referencing the 2020 his bit in 2020 Golden Globes. Funny how like Hollywood is like all those celebrities look askance at that clip, but they certainly monetize the crap out of it. Well, Gervais is not hosting this year. He did have some pointed comments about the award ceremony and those who attend them while speaking to the Sun. They're trying to get through they're trying to get through this and start again. I don't think anyone's been invited. It's not even a ceremony, said Gervais. Regarding these Golden Globes, assessing the event could come back stronger than ever, be loved again, or it could be the last one. I think it's the last one. To me, all of this stuff, what it reminds me of is like the Met Gala, where you see all the peon workers in their masks and you see the celebrities roaming free. That's what award shows are to me.
The Met Gala is disappointing to me. I actually really love fashion, and I think a lot of I thought I wanted to go to fashion school at one point in my life. The Met Gala is disappointing because now it's less about the clothes and like it's in support of the costume gallery at the Met, right? And it's all about the viral moment, which I understand gives exposure, but like last year it was America themed. I could go on a whole rant about this, so I'm gonna keep brief, but it was the theme had to do with America, and like the most nod to it most celebrities gave was to wear something by an American designer. When it's supposed to be a costume, it's supposed to have more dramatics to this.
Which is so dumb.
I think after they had one year that was Heavenly Bodies, and the things these people wore, like if you're going to be a celebrity who's at an elite event, for me, taking in the content, I have to be stunned by the fact that you're basically wearing art, especially to the Met Gala Costume Institute benefit. And I think since Heavenly Bodies, really things have just kind of fallen apart. I don't know if the themes have been too ambitious or what, but it's just not the same.
Well, it's also my opinion is like now they have newer celebrities that don't really have creativity in that area because like they have costume designers,
or they're afraid to take the risk. You know, I think especially with last year, you know, they don't want. I watched someone comment on it and they're like, I know it's like don't always want to be in Sport of America, which like I have my own opinions on, but you know, you limited yourself and as a result it was boring. And in this sense, like most of these, I know this is exactly what I was saying last time, but most of the people behind award shows I think kind of all think the same way, so they pick the same movies or same things, and they don't represent what I, as the person they're trying to make money off selling me this televised stream,
it's a bubble.
Interested in.
It's a bubble. They're in a bubble, and they're on the inside looking out, not realizing how different the outside world is to them. One thing that was funny, off topic, was there was a post on Instagram where it says like it was a side-by-side comparison of like women from like the AVN, which is like the Adult Film Video Network, like their like award show, and
dressed
then
more classier.
They were dressed way
one.
classier than like the women at like the I don't remember what it was. Like
it's actually
Oscars,
like the
MTV
Oscars,
Awards.
But so it was just really funny. They're like all of these women are just dressed like they're just regular gowns, fairly conservative, and then Megan Fox is wearing like a see-through outfit, and they're like
the see-through dress thing was really popular at award shows in the past couple years. I think Zoe Kravitz maybe wore one.
Yes.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, you want to do that, that's fine. I am all for your right to dress that way, but I think it's, you know, I think there's you have that kind of influence and money to be able to get something created by someone who is a really talented fashion designer or seamstress or anything like that. Like, there is so much more you could do. It's just a wasted opportunity, in my opinion.
Well, it's kind of dumb because they don't have a lot of creativity. Like this one fashion designer, I sent you an article about Lizzo wearing it. It's like a new trend where they wear these dresses that are basically see-through, and it's like a white fabric, but they call it, so the artist who made it, she said, no, it's based on body fluids like of the woman, and it's supposed to drape on you. It's like every dress is unique to every person. They're not the same, but it's just one piece of see-through fabric that is white, and she said it's like the woman's fluid, and I'm like, dude, you ran out of ideas, get out of my face.
No, I just, you know, I watched this interesting show called Dior and I, which was it's about the man who took over the atelier for Dior in his first show, which he had 8 weeks to produce. Fashion is technical. It's a technical engineering skill. There are so many things that go into making fabric work and the print that goes on them and how it's so fascinating. And if you
that's why I respect them more, but like new fashion artists that are coming out that I think is very lazy, like they produce something that's very lazy and copycatted, I don't really respect them. And all these celebrities are like throwing their money at it because it's like the trendy item,
and it's like, oh, I'm making a statement about the women's body. There's a line in Dorian Gray, and I can't quote it correctly, but it's about how art these days has become more about the artist and putting themselves into it, and a true artist wouldn't do that. I think fashion and award shows and the content that they're judging is similar. Like, stop giving me your political idea, tell me more about what the subject that you're creating. Like, fashion should be about the person you're dressing, right?
Yeah. They've made similar notions about in comics. They no longer, and in movies a lot of times, they don't hire directors, they cast them. Because they fit some type of message that they're trying to send, and they're going to parrot that same message. So you're not, it's not about the clothes, it's not about the comic, it's not about the movie, it's about the message that person wants to convey to the world, because I don't even know why. It's not good marketing. People don't buy into it. So it makes no sense to me.
Well, it's also like, again, as I said, like a lot of people are running out of ideas. Like, as everybody knows, I went to college as a studio arts major, and like everybody doesn't have a good idea. Like for me, I'll throw myself under the bus too, because like pretty much I said this in one of the classes. It was my senior class, and they said like, do you think like it's okay for people to like copy other people's art and call it their own? And I'm like, yeah, because basically art, like a lot of artists to this day, we copy everybody else's art. We're not original. Like I threw down this one guy who was a painter. He copied his art style from this one guy his name is also Francis Bacon. He's a very good artist when it comes to horror, but like a lot of it is like very messy and dirty. It's like streams of artwork. And then like postmodern art is very lame. Like you just have splotches and they call it art, while you have this beautiful mosaic piece that was made in maybe the 18th century, and it's not considered like good art anymore.
Postmodern art is awful.
It is, and like that's
postmodern architecture is worse.
It is.
Or postmodern decor. Maybe worse than any of it. I don't need a chair that looks like a big red clown nose. I don't.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
I don't know. Like for me, I just think it's stupid. Like a lot of the art, like how art is going like towards this kind of way. I think it's really stupid. It's very redundant. I wish people were more creative and more like fierce by jumping out of the comfort zone, like get out of the box.
But this is because this is all corporate, right? So all these people who pretend like they're breaking new ground, and
like the Zorro one,
or pretend that we'll get there, who pretend like they're doing all this mind-bendingly new and brave stuff. You're parroting the same message that every Fortune 500 company in the world is parroting right now. You're not brave and new. You're just following the mainstream narrative. That's fine. But don't act like you're doing something brave and new. You're just.
Well, it's also stupid that like right now, social media especially, like they're advocating for people to be ugly. And advocating for things to be ugly. They said ugly is okay.
I'm good with that. Yes.
Hey,
excellent.
Shut
Let's
up.
do this. Like, never mind. I'm jumping on that bandwagon. We're doing this.
No, like there was this I was watching Matt Walsh where he was reacting to this TikTok, and it's like this girl, she's so pretty, and like she grew up where people were like, oh my god, you're so pretty, you're such a pretty girl. And then like she gained a little bit weight, and they're like, oh, what happened? You gained a little bit weight. Like you used to be a little bit prettier. And then like slowly like her whole image like decreased, and she became more ugly. Well, like ugly to normal people. I'm not
how you interpret ugly.
Yeah.
Subjective.
But she was like so proud of how she looked, but she gained so much weight. She cut off all her beautiful long hair. Like for me, I like it when women, like when you've matched the long hair with your face shape. Like that's what I like. Because some women can pull off long hair and short hair. It's just the matter of like how your face shape is. But then she cut off all her hair, and then she started putting like piercings all over her face, and like she became something that wasn't what we see in society that's pretty, because like I feel like this is why social media is such like poison to your brain, because like they're advocating things that like before we wouldn't see as pretty, we'll see as very weird or like out of the box. I get it that you want to be expressing yourself a different way, but like as like how I said, like artwork in like the fashion industry where you're kind of disappointed because nobody has creativity, they rather do like ugly things. Like, you remember when it first started with the distress look where they started cutting like your jeans to have like holes in it? Like for me, I feel like it's because like people are lazy and they don't know what to do anymore.
But even then, it's not like they did that any like willy-nilly.
Yeah.
What was that word? Willy-nilly on the jean. That was at specific points, at the knee, at certain parts of the calf. It's literally
now,
there's a formula to that.
Yeah, I think with all of these things, like we want to, or at least I would want to advocate for liberty. If you want to, you know, you choose to look horrendous, you choose to do things that are flattering to you. That's your choice. That's cool. But I think the human brain is wired to seek and be fulfilled by things that are beautiful. It doesn't necessarily have to be the way you look. You don't have to change. And again, we have to separate what we see as like personal beauty, physical beauty. You know, those can be, there are a lot of different ways that people can be beautiful that are flattering to themselves without changing to the standard or what's trendy, right?
Yeah.
But architecture, art, you know, the things around us, music, like beauty is inherently fulfilling for humans, and to deny that in hopes of seeking some sort of satisfaction in political statement is just never going to work.
It's not, but okay, so a quick question to like round up this whole segment. You know how you brought up the gala's name was America? How would you do it?
It was the Met Gala.
It was the Met Gala's theme.
Yeah,
I don't remember
bad.
the title, but it was basically American themed.
Yeah, so if it was American theme, instead of what they did, how would you do it? Because like it's more costume based.
Well, there was like one woman wore this really interesting dress. I believe it was an Alexander McQueen dress that was it was like a big wired kind of hoop, you know, the way like a hoop skirt looks. It was like that, and had these really big beautiful ribbons, and it made the American flag, but at the bottom it was distressed, which is an interesting commentary, right? She's making a comment that with America's, this sort of grungy, punky Americana, and I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it was the most on target dress of the night for me. And also it was, I still think about it, it's interesting. It's got structural elements that are interesting, even if you don't agree with the statement. Whatever it's trying to say is interesting. I think that people are afraid to make statements, and also in the opposite with the award shows, if you make too big of a statement, you're not going to get the accolades. You know, you'll automatically be disqualified.
Well, I don't think people are afraid to make statements. It just has to follow along the lines. Will other people like it too? I don't think they're afraid to. Like,
they're asking to be looked at as brave while saying something that they know other people will already like.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you don't hear the statements that people would make if they had the freedom to. Like, if you weren't living if you were a director and you weren't making a movie, if the studio looked at you and said, I do not care if you win a single award at all. You know, one of my favorite movies, Moneyball. If they looked at you and had the equivalent of He Gets on Base, like, as long as people come to see your movie, I do not care if every critic hates it. What would you be empowered to make? Like, that's interesting.